And that's the reason God is exposing this. Money will never expose these people. Authority will never expose these people. And that is why God is doing it. The first person the Lord spoke about is Beyonce. Again, the Lord says that this woman is an idol and that this idol is going to crash publicly. So the Lord has been speaking about this woman to me for almost a year, but I did not feel moved in any way to put any information about her on the internet because I do not do anything until the Lord tells me to do it. I've said that just because God is having a conversation with me, or even because God is teaching me something, it doesn't mean that I should speak about it. This woman uses extremely strong witchcraft. I'm not sure how strong, but I just know that it's really strong. She uses what is called occultism. So I don't have an in-depth understanding of it, but I know that with witchcraft, there's conjuring. But with occultism, you are calling on the most ancient of the ancient. These are very involved. These are very heavily involved satanic and demonic activities that use up a lot of spiritual power. And so I've said that when I was young, I used to read a lot of these books and you know, a lot of books like, with The Little Witch and this and that. These are just things that were in the children's library and you just read them. And so you're familiar with hearing, to get you this done, little Peter Rabbit, you're going to need the tail of one frog and the eye of newt and things like that. Yeah, this is not the kind of thing that this woman does. When God says that someone is a principal idol that is involved in occultism, this person has access to the kind of power that is able to mind control a lot of people at one time. And so you will notice that the followers of this woman, if any of them were to find this video, the instant they hear her name alone is a triggering spell to them. If you say this woman's name to her followers, you don't have to say another word. They would cut you off. They would start gushing. They would say, have you seen her hair? Have you seen her shoes? Have you seen her left eyelash? They will go off and you will not be given room to interject. And this is because things have been done to these people at the beginning when they started to follow this woman, and then progressively over time until many of the followers are not even themselves. I remember that this woman came on TV once in a short clip that was just part of a new segment. And I said to the friend that I was watching TV, I said, you know, this lady, and this was years ago, this was maybe 2018. I said, this lady could transform out of nowhere. I just said this lady could transform live on stage into a wolf, an actual wolf. And her followers would say, this is the most amazing CGI we've ever seen.
Is it me or did Beyonce just turn into a demon mid-show?
Oh my God.
This is the height of the queen's ability to entertain. And I said it would be an actual wolf standing there, an actual wolf that could jump on stage and eat anyone, and they would not know the danger that they were in. Not saying that she has the ability to transform into a wolf. Speaking of the depth of inability to fight against or even perceive the strength of magic. There is great magic practiced by people who have been working at this thing for years. The fact that Christians do not know that magic exists, and there are people who have access to books that are no longer in the public domain. Why? Because the more you secure information, the more you secure power. If you teach everyone how to build a fire, no one needs to ask another person how to build a fire. But when you sequester information, when you hide it away, you greatly consolidate power to yourself. You make sure that just a few, you and those that you want to share it with, have access to the information. Therefore, it's only a few, you and the ones you want to share it with, that are able to exercise power against a great multitude. And now somebody finally gets it why the Catholic Church has all the books. All the books. All of them. The Lord says that this woman will come down to the dust, that he will bring her down to the dust and humble her greatly. Please remember that in a previous prophecy, the Lord says that this woman is going to lose her life, that she will pass away young. So that is just something to keep in mind, that she will lose her life. But he says that because this woman says, I sit as a queen and I'm fit to receive worship as if she were God, he says that he will drag her down to the dust and he will humble her, that she is promiscuous with multiple men, people that she is not married to, and that her husband fully knows about it because her husband is basically her pimp. The Lord says that this being given out to other men is a source of bitterness to this woman. It is part of a ritual that is called wife swap or swingers. So swingers is something that they did in the 60s, I think, where you just sleep with other people's wives. You know you have your wife, but then your best friend has a pretty wife and then they seem pretty open and you guys do barbecues together all the time. And then maybe somebody makes the suggestion and no one is shocked. No one is like, they just say, well, you know, that would be interesting maybe after the Jello. And then they used to do that. Men would go home with their friend's wife and then they would have big parties and do this wife swap. Swingers. And in fact, this happened recently with another person that the Lord mentioned in a previous prophecy when I was handling sodomy in the church. And he mentioned this man, Steph Curry. Mr. Curry's parents literally exchanged partners with the couple that lived across the street from them. And now the wife of Steph Curry's mom is with another man, and Steph Curry's father is with the wife of the man that his mother is with. In 2022, live in our faces. And so the Lord says that the reason for the deviance of defiling the marriage or swapping your wife or giving your wife out to other men is to defile the covenant of marriage. And also because the things that these people do to this woman produces an altered state. So I will talk about the altered state later. But the transference gives demons access to millions, and they have that access greatly multiplied now because of technology. And God says that it will affect people socially. It affects people through spiritual oppression. It even induces demonic states in people. So the same state, this state can be induced in you even when the movie star, or especially music stars, he was showing me, is not there. And God said this is why they tour so much. They are constantly maintaining, creating, and contributing to worldwide occult energy and occult powers. Rituals are being done by single and married superstars from all walks of life, including politicians, but especially rappers, singers, people who influence others by their music, their videos, and their lyrics. The people that God named involved in this, and the list is it's not exhaustive. So there are lots more. Beyonce, Jay-Z, Rihanna, Future, Kanye West, and he said mega stars like Lady Gaga. Rituals occur frequently at the shows of music stars and even on the sets of movies. It happens on the runways. Models are told, let's gather in, let's gather around, and let's begin to tune ourselves into collective energy before the show. Let's put out this good energy. But God says it's all a trigger point. It is all a trigger point for demons to enter in and take control. And Beyonce is on record of saying on, I think it was Oprah's show many years ago, that, oh no, I like to get loose before a show because my other person comes in and takes over. She spoke of having an altar called Sasha Fierce. Lady Gaga is on record of saying, oh no, she has a man inside her that she calls Roman. And even Denzel Washington is on record as saying, oh no, before every movie, you've got to get loose because that other, you've got to pull on that other. These people are basically speaking a language in public on tape